Good day, campers. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about refrigerators. One of the most important things in our RV is the refrigerator, so it's important that we get the best refrigerator for our needs. In this video, I'm going to compare the three types of refrigerators, the advantages and disadvantages of each. If you are shopping for a new RV or a new refrigerator, this video is intended to help you decide which refrigerator is the best for you and your RV. The first thing to consider when deciding which type of refrigerator is best for you is, how do you RV? Are you a full-timer? Are you a weekender or occasional camper? Do you boondock a lot? The way you use your RV will determine the best refrigerator for you. So now let's get down to it and talk about the types of refrigerators one at a time. First will be the gas electric or absorption fridge. This is probably the best known type of fridge because it's been the type of fridge in most RVs until recently. Because this is a two-way refrigerator, that is, it can operate on either of two types of power. It needs 12 volts or battery power all the time in order to operate. That battery power is for the cooling fans and the control board so it can switch, and shore power. Because the actual cooling is done by either propane or shore power, this fridge uses just a small amount of your battery, so it's a great choice for anyone that spends a lot of time off-grid. Also, this type of fridge saves on your battery while traveling. This is a subject of some debate because it requires that your propane be on while towing. People have been doing it for a very long time, but some are uncomfortable with that. Plus, in most states, it's considered illegal. So this can either be an advantage or a disadvantage, depending on your point of view. Gas electric refrigerators use ammonia and an evaporation process instead of a refrigerant and a compressor to cool the refrigerator/freezer. While this process works, sometimes better than others, it does produce a lot of heat that must be eliminated. Most manufacturers have cooling fans in the back to help with this process, but in some cases, owners have had to add even more fans. If the fridge is in a slide, it is even more of a challenge to eliminate the heat. If it's on an outside wall or in the middle of the RV, air flows better and cooling seems to be less of an issue. For these reasons, some, especially larger fridges, do not work well when the outside temps are in triple digits. Next, let's talk about residential refrigerators. This is the same refrigerator that everyone has in their sticks and bricks home. Residential refrigerators use a refrigerant and a compressor to keep food cold, so these types of refrigerators do a very good job keeping food cold under all outside temperatures. In an RV, it would run on shore power or an inverter if shore power is not available. If your RV came with a residential fridge, the factory most likely installed an inverter, but if you are replacing another type of fridge with a residential, you'll need to install an inverter yourself. Residential refrigerators need a lot of power, so if shore power is not available, you'll need a lot of batteries and/or solar panels, or preferably both to keep the fridge running while traveling or boondocking. It would also be helpful to have a generator to help recharge your battery bank. Residential refrigerators can be the largest of available refrigerators. Most residential refrigerators are not built to go in an RV, although there are some that have the ability to mount them in a cabinet and are called RV residential refrigerators. If your RV came with a residential fridge, the factory will have mounted it, but if you are replacing another type of fridge with a residential, then you'll need to figure out how to secure it for travel. Because residential refrigerators are not intended to be in an RV and travel down the highway, they may not hold up to the rigors of traveling down the highway. Last but not least, let's talk about 12-volt refrigerators. 12-volt refrigerators are very much like residential refrigerators, except that they use battery power instead of shore power. There are two ways to get a 12-volt fridge. A ready-built at a factory like any other refrigerator, or a conversion kit. The conversion kit lets you replace the absorption cooling unit with a 12-volt compressor cooling unit because the fridge only uses 12-volt power. You can use this fridge with or without shore power. But you also need plenty of battery when shore power is not available, and or solar to help keep the batteries charged. It's also helpful to have a generator to help recharge your batteries. Now let's sum up the entire video. Gas electric fridges are best for times when no shore power is available, but are not as good at keeping food cold as compressor-type refrigerators when outside temps get into the triple digits. Residential fridges are the largest. They're also great at keeping food cold, but they use the most power when off-grid. 12-volt fridges also do a good job keeping food cold. They use more battery than gas electric, but less than residential when off-grid. Thanks for watching. I certainly hope that I was helpful. And as always, please remember to like and subscribe.